boy. Radama set up. We talk about this stuff a lot, but this one was sent to me by Comics Are Cool in the chat. And this should be interesting because we disagree on a lot of stuff when it comes to this. Plus, then you guys, get to put a voice to the name, so you can hear it okay. Right here, now, and again, politically homeless, but this is the most right-wing virtue signal I have ever seen. Interesting. I know I'm gonna lose subscribers. I'm just bleeding them at this point. It's okay. Is that Eagly? Yes, that's Eagly!
Hey friends, this week I'm at New York Comic Con to talk to you about race, representation, and people of color in the world of all things geeky. So let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, I have something to say. Have you ever read a comic
Shocker.
in your entire life? This is another SJW who knows nothing about comics and doesn't care about comics, yet wants to change comics.
This woman said, hello friends, I'm here at New York City Comic Con to talk to different people. And he said, she's an SJW that knows nothing about comics and wants to change him. You got all of that from her saying hi. Honey, we're starting out bad. Gatekeeping and gaslighting 101 right here. You know nothing about this woman. And you're already calling her an SJW who knows nothing about comics. She's doing a job. She may not. She may be the biggest social justice warrior that ever lived. You've shown me zero proof of anything you've had to say before. I saw the video beforehand. Okay. You should have said I vetted this video. I know I'm not trying to pick, but yeah, that's not a good look.
And the only reason she is talking about comics is because comics have gone mainstream. They are the biggest thing in Hollywood right now. She wouldn't be saying anything about comics 10 years ago. SJWs are like locusts. They find an industry that is popular, they destroy it, and
oh boy. Okay. Yes, they have gone mainstream. The comic book culture, not necessarily comic books. If comic books have gone mainstream, then why are you guys constantly going, comic books are dead? You can't have it both ways. You just can't. And yeah, okay.
And then move on to the next one. We saw
they kill stuff and move on to the next one. Do you think this is like some big Inception, like crazy conspiracy theory shit? They get together in their little group and they're like, all right, guys. They've got like blue hair and pronouns on their shirt and they're like, guys, what are we going to ruin next? We got Star Wars. What about Constantine? Oh, you know what? Let's just take on all DC comics. You know what? Next, we're going to go to Star Trek. People like Star Trek, right? That's a thing, right? Let's go ruin Star Trek. Then maybe one of them's like, you know what? Fuck Star Trek. I'm going over to Marvel. We're going to make it the MCU. This isn't like some big conspiracy things. These are there are reasons why these things are done. You want to know why the MCU typically is using, a lot of females and a lot of really strong males? Because that's what women like, right? Women love the protective character in that. Women love all of that. And right now, the most popular demo is women. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's continue.
All this with movies and TVs and video games, and now they're going after comics.
Can you name 7 superheroes of color?
First, look at the people she cherry-picked here. All of them are diverse, which means no straight white men allowed.
Ah! Sorry. God, you're such a victim. Do you want a hug?
Okay, looks like you got a Hispanic man. By the way, Quail Man from Doug is not a comic book character.
Who cares? It's Comic-Con. They don't always dress as comic book characters.
You have an Asian man with a gender-bending Wonder Woman costume.
Looks good to me.
By the way, there is a Wonder Man, and I guarantee this guy did not know this.
How do you know these things? Why do you assume the worst about everybody?
And you got a, I'm guessing, Hispanic?
When you go to Comic-Cons, you don't see people always dressed as comic book characters. They are dressed in a wide variety of anything geek-related. To say it is not comic book accurate, which was the problem with the male gender bend one, and there's also a male, besides Wonder Man, there's also on Earth 11 a male Wonder Woman, so no issue here. It's not a good criticism.
We'll just say non-white, flamingly gay couple.
Oh my God! Why do you care? Why was that a good criticism?
Dressed in drag Sailor Moon costumes.
Do you hear this, dude? He's super straight. See why that doesn't work?
By the way, Sailor Moon is not a comic book character either. I know some people will say, well,
actually,
she originally was in
manga.
Manga. Sorry, technically not a comic book. So
who cares? Okay. I'm putting my super serious face on, guys. Super serious.
It doesn't count. And you got an obese black woman dressed as something I honestly don't know what.
That woman is obese? I think she looks cute. She might be a little thick, but she's not obese.
But I can say it's not a comic book character.
Can you name 7 superheroes of color?
No.
Well, that's an issue.
That proves you're not a comic book fan.
Yeah,
you know what?
I would say that's an issue.
Several better. And I'll even limit myself to just black people and not the more broad term of people of color. Okay, here goes.
Hold on, we're gonna do this. I never watch anything at normal speed. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I even, like, when I do my clips, I speed myself up because I'm so fucking slow.
Spawn, Steady, Black Panther, Storm, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Steel, Luke Cage, Falcon, Goliath, Black Lightning, Cloak, Deathlock, Spectrum, Blade, Miles Morales. That was 15.
I mean, thank you for proving you have Google, though I don't doubt that you know them. I just had to be a smartass. Yes, if she's going around, we'd have no idea why they picked her. We have no idea. So her not knowing 7 comic book characters of color is kind of me, being like, why don't you? Like, I get that.
It's more than twice what she asked for. And that was just black superheroes. That's not counting the thousands of other heroes of color who are not black.
Storm.
Black Panther.
Miles Morales.
Damn. That's a hard one.
No, it's not. I just proven it's not hard.
For one, this is very, very edited. So they could have just named 15 and then said that's a hard one. Like, to be fair to those people, we don't know when that's a hard one was taken. But I get it.
At least it's not hard for an actual comic book fan. Again, let's look at the people who she...
I love it. An actual comic book fan. Dude, stop with the gatekeeping. This is the weird thing about this to me is growing up, it was nobody ever gatekept. Nobody ever gatekept. They're like, you like Catwoman? How many books have you read? Oh, you've read 1? Well, I consider you a Catwoman fan. Nobody was ever like this.
Ask this question. Oh, an actual white person. Oh, but she's a woman, so she counts as
oh my God.
A minority somehow. But again, she's not
know
dressed
what to
as a comic book character. A guy covered in body paint, so you can't really tell his race.
He's clearly white.
But hey, look, he's dressed like Colossus, an actual comic book character. Oh my God, and it's an actual white male dressed as Joker. But he seems to have the makeup of the Heath Ledger Joker.
Maybe he likes that version.
Or not the comic book Joker.
So
and
what?
He's with the guy dressed as Deadpool, and his costume fully covers his body, so we don't know what race he is. And I wonder if he just saw the movie Deadpool, or he actually read the comics.
Why do you assume the worst? And even if he just saw Deadpool and that's what got him interested, where is the problem?
A Hispanic woman as a gender-bending Spider-Man. I wonder if she knows there are actually several Spider-Woman, Hispanic, Nightwing, and a Stormtrooper. Again, Stormtrooper.
That Nightwing costume, though, that's fucking good. I mean, they both are, but damn.
Troopers did not originate in the comics.
Green Lantern.
Bumblebee, good. That's another black character I forgot. That makes it 16 on my list. By the way, notice that she is a woman and she is in a wheelchair. That's double oppression point.
What is wrong with you? That's double oppression points. Please do me a favor and just go outside. Like, do you really think she goes home and has to be in a wheelchair? Obviously, I don't know exactly what's wrong with her, but do you think she goes, oh, well, my double oppression points are going to help me take a shower? Have a little bit of fucking empathy.
Points there. Also, she's not dressed as a comic book character.
Angel from X-Men? No.
Wait a minute. Yes, Angel Salvador from
Yes.
X-Men is a person
Zoe
of color. She's not talking
Kravitz!
about the first
That is literally the only movie I've seen Zoe Kravitz in, but I'm still so hyped.
Angel from X-Men, Warren Worthington, which is who his partner mistakes who he's talking about. He's talking about Angel Salvador, who was played by Zoe Kravitz in X-Men First Class. But it seems they cut this out of the video to mislead the audience.
Pink, yellow, blue.
Well, we're talking like people like natural colors.
Oh.
Oh, natural colors. So diversity doesn't count if it's not real human races. She does.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's talking about human skin. Nobody has blue skin. That was the point of the video. Lord have mercy.
Realize that comics are fictional and they can have fictional races, but come on, minorities can't look up to people of other races. Are you kidding me? No, they have to have heroes that look exactly like them. They have to have...
Nobody said that! Why are you constantly thinking the worst, for one, and putting words in people's mouth? Nobody said they have to look exactly like me. That doesn't mean they don't want to be represented.
Have the same race, gender, and sexuality as they do, or else it doesn't count. By the way, another minority dressed as a Naruto character, not a comic book character.
So what?
Well, how many did that guy dressed as Colossus say? He could have said way more than 7, but since this video is heavily edited, we'll never know.
Good point. That's the point I made earlier. That is fair point.
And they don't want you to know. I find it hard to believe that
blue skin would make them diverse. No, blue skin would probably make them an alien. An alien.
A supposed X-Men fan, X-Men being one of the most diverse teams in comics, can't name 7 heroes of color. I can probably name 7 on the X-Men team alone. Okay, Storm, Jubilee, Thunderbird, Psylocke, Warpath, Bishop, Forge, and I can go on. That is 7.
Again, thank you again for proving you have Google. Yeah, okay. I do believe that you know who they are, but just saying them out loud doesn't prove anything. Again, it's very gatekeeping.
In X-Men alone. Either this guy is not a fan of the X-Men, or they edited out his answers.
Why do you think this is so difficult?
Because there's not enough representation of people of color in comics.
What makes you think there isn't enough representation in comics? What would be enough? I would like to know an exact number, please. Just because you are ignorant of the actual representation.
I feel like there's very little self-awareness with that ignorant comic here.
Doesn't mean there isn't enough. Let me give you the exact numbers. Blacks make up only 12% of the U.S. population. Whites, however, make up...
Let me look up a year, because that completely is false. 2018. Okay, so we're going to be fair here. This is a little bit old.
77%.
How can you show the stats on screen from 2017 or 18 and then read them incorrectly? You said white Americans make up 77% when it clearly says non-Hispanic whites total 62%. You put them on screen and then up them for your narrative. Do you realize what you're doing here? Like, that is completely fucking twisted that you would put them on screen and assume that your audience was so ignorant they would take you at your word even though you put the facts on screen. Non-Hispanic whites totaled 62%. Hold on. I want you guys to hear this.
Of the U.S. population. Whites, however, make up 77%.
Right. Whites make up 77%, but right on the screen you have 62%. You are twisting everything for your narrative. Let me do some Google here.
3 hours later.
57% of America is white. Now, I will give you a little bit of credit because this is a couple years old. But if you are saying that comics are too diverse when whites are only 57%, you are extremely off base and not actually using facts. You are going off of feeling and twisting a narrative because my feelings. What? I was counting all whites. You said that it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You counted all whites, including Hispanic and everything, to fit your fucking narrative. This actually makes me extremely angry because I can just prove that you are lying. You are downright lying to your audience and assuming they are so ignorant they won't read what's on screen. Good morning, Dr. Sue. Good morning. Sorry, I didn't mean to be yelling, but this is fucking a little shady. It's more than a little shady.
Of the population. So if you want an accurate number of black characters in American comics, there would only be 12% black characters. And that is...
They should only have 12%? Okay, hold on. What percentage of America is black? So now we're up to 13.4. And how's your day going? Oh my God. It's going good. Just found the absolute. I can't believe you. If Bianca were here, she would be pissed. Like, how fucking dare you? Honestly, this is what is the issue. People like you are why I left the right in every shape and form. Because you lie to fit your narrative. The first part I may have been kidding about, but now you are blatantly lying to fit a narrative. And you wonder why you've been banned a couple times. And I'm not banning you right now. I'm not saying that. But Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?
The amount of black characters there are. So isn't 12% enough? There will never be enough.
Is it 12% enough?
These SJWs are never satisfied. By the way, these SJWs will never mention the overrepresentation of blacks in sports like basketball. Blacks make up 74%.
I don't think he ever said he was right-wing. Oh, he said it multiple times. Maybe not in this video, but he's been around for a while. Yes, he absolutely is.
Of basketball players in the U.S. when only being 12% of the population. Whites, however...
Sorry, Kitty, I'm not mad at you. I just think this is so fucking gross.
Make up only 23% of players, while being 77%.
Oh my God. You're mad there's not enough white people in basketball?
7% of the population. So
I don't know what to do with myself.
SJWs, this number disparity is not a problem. But when blacks make up the correct percentage of comic book characters, that somehow is a problem. Amazing.
Somebody who's been collecting comic books since they were 5 who can only name 5 is a bit of a problem.
Yes, and the problem is you are ignorant of the amount.
No, the problem is DC and Marvel does not give them good storylines anymore. Remember when Storm was the leader of the X-Men? Remember that? Why aren't we looking back at those characters and giving... Black Panther, I think, is the only leading black character in comic books right now. In Marvel. I think there's a Falcon one coming out when he's Captain America. I think, but I don't know if that's out yet. There are not many headlining titles. Let's see. At DC, we have Aquaman The Becoming, and then Naomi, which isn't out yet. So out of the hundreds of titles they put out a month, there's one, but 12%, my 12%. Okay, he has a point here. There's never any discussion. We're not talking about NBA. It is literally a false equivalency. The reason why people are picked for NBA is because they are good. They don't create characters from the ground up. They are real people. You are comparing real people to fiction.
Of minorities in comics.
Why do they have to be? Oh my fucking. Why do they have to be headlining? I never said they had to be headlining, but one out of, I would say DC puts out probably 80 books. Count up who's in all those books. You're gonna get less than 14%. I can guarantee it. There is literally nobody even on the Justice League right now that's black. Black Adam, but he's not black. Oh, wait, no, Naomi. That is wrong, Naomi. Naomi is about the only character that you really see right now. I'm trying to think. I read every book, mind you. I read every book except for Teen Titans Academy. I'm waiting for the new Tom King book to collect in a trade. Yeah, buddy, you're wrong.
That is your problem. That is not a problem.
Where's John? Oh, thank you, Tava, keeping me honest. I forgot about Green Lantern. Jon Stewart and Joe Molian are in that book. Very good point. Thank you, Tava.
In comics.
I'm a redhead. I have more options, and I'm only 1% of the world.
Do you really have more options than minorities? Jean Grey, Banshee, Siren, Wally West, Flash, the Chief from Doom Patrol, Red Sonja. That's all the redheads I can think of right now.
Red-headed characters in comic books were very common because the color popped. The color popped in comics. That's why that was used so much. And that's why people always get upset about them being race swapped, because it's so often, right? So that's just something that is normal. You've got a lot more than just what you said. You've got Raven. Did you say Barbara Gordon, Poison Ivy, Black Widow? There are so many. Matt Murdock. Yes, there is absolutely a ton. Hot girl of redheads. Archie. Don't forget about Archie. Gotta give some love to Archie.
Oh, that's only 6. That's a lot less than the 16 black characters I
Hello, good morning, Bianca.
Marvel and DC. And y'all thought about, why can't I be a superhero? Why can't there be a superhero that looks like me?
There are. I've named 16.
You see all these
You only get 16, sorry, buddy.
people and their interpretation
And none that are actually in comics right now. Just wanted to let you know that's what you get.
Of their characters, and you can be whatever you want to be. That's what this is about. But this is why we come here, to see everybody. I love a good black Sailor Moon. I love a good black Sailor Moon.
He said that we can dress like any superhero we want to. I wonder if he would say the same thing if a white person dressed like a character
Yeah, you sure can, Crimson. Good morning, Creepy Cake.
like Black Panther. SJWs would call that cultural appropriation. They are
If you're going to a con as dressed as Black Panther, nobody would give a fuck. You're talking about a very fringe minority on Twitter. Get off of Twitter. Problem solved.
always saying that white people can't dress like other cultures, but it's fine when other cultures dress like white people and white characters.
If you look at
Dress like Black Panther at a con. Nobody fucking cares.
me, I'm Spanish and I'm Spider-Woman. Or
She looks
You don't look at
adorable.
yourself as Latina Spider-Woman. You're just
Spider-Woman.
No, she's not dressed like Spider-Woman. She's dressed like Spider-Man. Spider-Woman's costume doesn't look like that. I can almost guarantee that she doesn't even know that there are several Spider-Women.
He just, again, assumed. You don't know. You don't know because I said so.
Fandoms actually are much more accepting for the expression of what it is. I get a lot of people who are like, no, we should make something for your charity, because there's not a lot of characters that are disabled.
Let's see, Professor X, Daredevil, Captain Marvel Jr.
You literally are gaslighting her. She met in a wheelchair. You know what she met. And you named a blind man. Again, gotta fit that narrative, right, buddy?
Freddie Freeman, the Chief from Doom Patrol, Silhouette, another minority. And that's just off the top of my head. Yes, that is.
I did see a white cosplayer get canceled for dressing like a black character from Avatar. Again, I'm talking about at cons because that's what we're talking about. Twitter is a cesspool. The best advice I could ever give somebody in life, besides don't spit in the wind, is literally get off fucking Twitter.
Very few, but they do exist. And there are
Yeah, I know that, Robert. He's ridiculous.
still way more black characters than disabled people.
when we talked about the possibility of changing the race of some characters that everyone knows, sometimes people get really upset about that.
That's ironic, since black people get upset when they change a black character to white. They call that whitewashing, and they say that's very bad. But for some reason, it's not bad when white characters are changed to be non-white characters. That's good for some reason.
That's a play. It's totally different. And there's a lot of big issues with that, too. Like, it's very weird to me when black people are willing to play slave owners.
Yeah, you know, like,
But
look, there's some
it's a
traditional
play.
characters that I feel very mixed about turning the Human Torch black, because the story was always a brother and sister, so that was tough.
See, he did have a problem with Johnny Storm being played by a black actor. So it's not just white people who feel this way.
But I appreciate the colorblind casting in doing that, and more of that does have to happen.
Why? Why does more white characters have to be changed to non-white characters? Would he say the same thing about a character like Black Panther?
Or
what do I say? No, nobody's changing Black Panther. You guys always go to Black Panther. It's always Black Panther, and it's very easy to say Black Panther should be white. It has ties to his heritage. Same reason why you cannot change Magneto. We've had this conversation 1,000 times, but it's always the same one used.
invent new characters that can challenge that status quo.
I actually agree with this. Instead of changing the race of white characters, create brand new characters with brand new names. Don't just take the mantle of white characters. But SJWs aren't creative, and they are never satisfied
Because mantle, switching, and that was never a thing, right? Right? That was never a thing before? Oh, okay. That always existed in comics. Gotcha!
With new characters. They want the name, they want the title. Being a brand new character like Steel, who is a great character, by the way, isn't enough. They have to rewrite history and have a black character take the name.
I love Steel, but Steel was made as a ripoff Superman. Okay? He's a great character. Actually, I like Natasha better, I'm not gonna lie, but...
Name of Superman. For example, like this character, Calvin Ellis, who is so unoriginal that he has the exact...
I love Calvin Ellis. Simple, change Black Panther's origin. Yeah, then you'd bitch about the comics being changed from source material. You'd bitch no matter what.
Same origin as the real Superman, Clark Kent. But being Superman wasn't enough. He also has to be president. That's just plain selfish. But then...
It's selfish to be president.
They still claim we need more than that.
You want to feel like you're represented.
I have a 6-year-old son, and I think that he would like to see someone that looks like him.
No, Steel is not the same, but he was introduced as a ripoff of Superman when Superman was dead.
Are represented. Your son does have people who look like him. I gave 16 examples. Well, 17 with Calvin Ellis. By the way, the Incredibles, again, are not comic book characters.
So much
So what?
of people of color.
It was literally a family having fun together dressed up as the Incredibles. It's cute.
Color is not positive.
What are you talking about? There are a ton of positive minority representation in the media. So now, you don't only want to be represented, but you want all of that representation to be positive. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. If there needs to be able to have, like, what we're seeing right now in Aquaman The Becoming. Not everything that Jackson is doing is positive, and that's how you do it. You show the struggle. You show the triumph. You show the failures. You show what makes that character tick, what makes him angry, him yelling at his sister Delight. Like, there is plenty to show with that character that is not positive.
Every race has bad people and good people. You can't always be shown as positive when it's impossible, since there will always be bad.
Steel was introduced when Superman was away. I love Steel. I don't know why we're acting like he was introduced at a different time. He was introduced when Superman was dead. That's what I'm saying.
Bad people among your race.
So why do you think representation in comic books is important?
It's not important at all.
For fuck's sake!
Does representation make the story any better? No, it doesn't.
Nobody said it made the story worse. What are you talking about? It depends on the writer. There is literally no bad comic book characters. There is only bad writers. So if a person of color's story makes sense, then what is the issue here? Why are you so mad about diversity?
Are you trying to say that minorities can only look up to people the same race as them? That's ridiculous and racist. A hero's race shouldn't matter, correct? And why does there have to be representation if a hero's race doesn't matter?
Completely agree. So what do you think? Why aren't there more superheroes of color?
There are. You just wanted to lie and say that there wasn't.
The self-awareness. We are done with this. That was terrible. Like, what the actual fuck? The thing about your opinion is totally fine. We can disagree. But you literally lying to your audience while showing them the facts is fucking horrible, and you should be ashamed. Like